Hello, great people. The illegally suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, took Nigerians and the political camp of his estranged godfather, Nyesom Wike, by surprise by paying another courtesy visit to President Bola Tinubu in Lagos. This is the second time Fubara is reaching out to the president since he was illegally suspended. You will recall that Fubara reached out to the president when he was in the diaspora and he paid him a courtesy visit, and now he's paying him another visit in Lagos. What does this mean for the political return of Siminalayi Fubara, and is the Wike camp panicking? If so, why are they panicking at this point in time? What is the political alignment and realignment that is going on behind the scene, and what are the optics that we can bring out from Siminalayi Fubara's symbolic visit to President Bola Tinubu? What is the public reaction that has greeted this visit of Fubara to Tinubu? We'll be dissecting this and a whole lot more on this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Omosholadeji. First, what I can tell you is that Fubara is trying to align with the president because by visiting his oppressor, many people view President Bola Tinubu, rightly so, as his oppressor and Nyesom Wike as his tormentor, because if the president has not declared a state of emergency and if he hadn't given support to the Wike camp, definitely Siminalayi Fubara, as it has been to other governors in Nigeria in the past, he would have rubbished Nyesom Wike. But the president seemed to be on the side of Nyesom Wike, and this has given Nyesom Wike the upper hand. And Nyesom Wike was able to secure a favorable Supreme Court judgment, and backed by the support of President Bola Tinubu, definitely Nyesom Wike has been feeling fly. But now there seems to be a political change of hand. There seems to be a political realignment because Siminalayi Fubara, having been suspended, is now tilting towards the camp of President Bola Tinubu. And one thing that gives me serious concern is the public reaction that greeted the visit Siminalayi Fubara paid to President Tinubu, in the sense that people are condemning Fubara. Some people are even cursing him. Some people are calling him a weak guy. You know, different kind of abuses have been raining on the illegally suspended governor. By the way, I call him illegally suspended governor because from my lens as a political scientist, the president has no power to declare a state of emergency to the extent of removing a democratically elected governor. I need to state that clearly to you, and there are a plethora of court cases in that regard. So do well to educate yourself if you are doubting me. But I won't waste time on that, and I hope that the Supreme Court can do the right thing by interpreting the action of the president, whether it is constitutional or not. Now, back to people that are abusing Siminalayi Fubara. In all fairness, let us be real, let us be fair. What do people want from Siminalayi Fubara? What do people think that Siminalayi Fubara will do? Let me break it down in this manner. Siminalayi Fubara was a governor of Rivers State before he was suspended. If you look at the power, the authority, the privilege that is available to a governor, you won't want to leave that position for any reason. You only want to leave if you have served your constitutionally allowed tenure, because power is addictive. Everybody is, reaching out to you for appointment, for contract. Anywhere you go, people are singing, dancing, rejoicing, and all that. You are like a mini god in your own right. And all of a sudden, the power was taken away from you. If you are Siminalayi Fubara, what will you do at this point in time? Because definitely they don't the people that he has cannot help him. So what do they want him to do? He is helpless. The judiciary has failed him, apparently, because the judiciary have not shown that his suspension is a case of national emergency. So judiciary, which is the last hope, has even apparently failed him, in the sense that the suspension of Fubara is over 2 months now, and one would have expected that for the judiciary to interpret the constitution shouldn't take that long. It is a simple thing. There's no evidence that needs to be tendered. Interpret the constitution. Is it right for the president to suspend a governor? Definitely it is not right from my own lens, but the judiciary has failed in this regard. So what do people want when the judiciary has not treated the matter as a matter of national emergency? And Siminalayi Fubara is just left out in the code, and he knows that Nyesom Wike is somebody that he goes all out. So he needs to have another option if Nyesom Wike decide not to forgive him and let go. If Nyesom Wike is still talking tough, Siminalayi Fubara is being wise as a politician to seek an alternative means to power, which is that if Nyesom Wike is talking tough, then if he aligns with the camp of President Bola Tinubu, President Bola Tinubu can reinstate him, and President Bola Tinubu can give him the required political support for him to retain his seat and serve out his term as the as the governor of Rivers State. And that itself is very strategic from the aspect of Siminalayi Fubara, because as he is right now, he is an helpless man. The PDP, that is his party, is failing him. The PDP is embroiled in crisis at the moment. The judiciary is failing him. The sole administrator, is not acting in a manner that, in a manner that he believes that Siminalayi Fubara will come back anytime soon. The sole administrator is busy uprooting Fubara's structure. In that instance, what do you think Fubara would do? And if at the end of the day, if he doesn't have the backing of the president, you see that we operate a kind of like, what we can call a power-centric the democracy, in which power is concentrated in one man. So Nyesom Wike is apparently at the losing end. The more Fubara aligns with President Bola Tinubu, the more Nyesom Wike will be losing grip. Why do I say so? Nyesom Wike is powerful to the extent of his weakness. And I will explain that to you again. Nyesom Wike is powerful to the extent of his weakness, in the sense that Nyesom Wike is like Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the former governor of Kano State and presidential aspirant of the NNPP, in the sense that if you look at it, Nyesom Wike is only powerful in Rivers State. Look at Nyesom Wike very well. Examine his personality. He's only very politically strong in Rivers State, just as Kwankwaso, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, is mainly politically strong in Kano State. If you look at Nyesom Wike, he doesn't have much political leverage in other South states. And as it is at the moment, the president apparently has some strategic support in some of these South states, in the sense that he already has Delta. Delta is now an APC state. He already has Edo. Edo is an APC control state. Akwa Ibom, the governor, Umo Eno, has made it public that he is leaving the PDP. So already the president already has 3 Niger Delta states. And if you look at it, that itself is helping him. In the South, let us use it by geopolitical divide, like the geopolitical zones. Now, in the South, Bola Tinubu already has Delta, he has Edo, and he has Akwa Ibom. That is very strategic to him. So at the end of the day, if he has River State, that increases his ability to prosper politically in those regions. And I haven't realized that Nyesom Wike is strong to the extent of his weakness. Definitely Tinubu may want to align with Siminalayi Fubara. Tinubu may align with Siminalayi Fubara because Fubara enjoys sympathy and organic support. If you look at it well in Rivers State presently, Fubara enjoys that sympathy, that organic support than Nyesom Wike. Some of the people are seeing Nyesom Wike as the oppressor. Nyesom Wike only have the support of the political elite, and it is a fraction of the political elite, in the sense that the political disciples of Peter Odili, their overall political godfather, are not on the side of Nyesom Wike. The political elite on the camp of Rotimi Amechi, former governor of the state, are not on the side of Nyesom Wike. And some of the political elite that believe in Siminalayi Fubara are also not in the camp of Nyesom Wike. So Siminalayi Fubara enjoys sympathy and organic support, and Tinubu may opt for Fubara as a viable alternative, since he already has Delta, Edo, and Akwa Ibom. So he will just opt for Fubara, reinstate him, and if you reinstate him, definitely Fubara will be back in power, and Tinubu will now be the one to be checkmating Nyesom Wike. You see, politics is a very interesting game. Tinubu will now be the one to be checkmating Nyesom Wike, in the sense that he can decide to sack him, and immediately if he sacks Nyesom Wike, he will lose all his power and ability, and definitely Siminalayi Fubara will triumph. Will this happen? Apparently no, because Tinubu needs Nyesom Wike for 2027. But if it can't happen, then what can happen? What can happen is that Tinubu being Nyesom Wike being Tinubu's political appointee, Tinubu will be reining him in. Tinubu will be checkmating him. If Tinubu calls Nyesom Wike today and say, I need you to do this and this and this if you still want to remain in my cabinet, because Nyesom Wike is power centric, he won't want to let go. He will just say, oh, okay, sir, I will do it, sir. So you can imagine the power that Tinubu apparently has on Nyesom Wike. And I've told you politicians before that Tinubu wants power, not Wike. Always remember that Bola Tinubu wants power, not Wike. Bola Ahmed Tinubu loves power, not Wike, in the sense that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what he wants is power. What he wants is the political control that can give him a leverage to have a successful political outing in the 2027 presidential election. So if Nyesom Wike is a strategic guy in that regard, then Tinubu will align with him. If Nyesom Wike is not strategic in that regard, Tinubu will move to the next person. So always remember that Tinubu wants power, not Wike. The Tinubu doesn't have any major interest in Nyesom Wike, and Tinubu loves power, not Nyesom Wike. And if the conduct of Nyesom Wike is anything to go by, definitely at the end of the day, Nyesom Wike may eventually lose out, because Nyesom Wike is earning Tinubu disaffection and enemies. What do I mean by that? Through his orations and his actions, Nyesom Wike has been earning Tinubu political enemies, in the sense that his actions, some of them are kind of like largely anti-people, because if Tinubu does not have a strong footing in the last election in FCT, and you are locking places, and you are sacking the IDP camps, and you are doing a number of things that people regard as anti-masses, and by your oration, whereby you talk to people anyhow, and you kind of like blast anybody that is blastable, to use the word in quote now, definitely you are earning the president political enemies. And this itself may be something of concern to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because what Tinubu needs right now is political affection and friends, but Nyesom Wike has been earning him political disaffection and enemies, and this itself may come with a serious consequence for Nyesom Wike. And Tinubu right now has put Wike in a tight corner, because he cannot be in the PDP apparently, and if Fubara joins APC, Nyesom Wike won't have total control of the party. As it is now, the political stalwart in PDP are aligning together to make sure that they wrestle the power from the grip of Nyesom Wike, and if that is successful, the only option that Wike has is APC, and if Fubara joins APC, he won't have absolute control of the party. Definitely it will be interesting days lies ahead. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. Sincerely.